Okay, I guess we'll get started now. Hello, everybody. Thanks for attending. Hope you're doing well. I know it's midterm season, so I hope you're hanging in there. Hello, my name is Kayla. I'm a peer consultant here at SARC, and I'm here with Sammy, another peer consultant. And today we're going to talk about selecting a research topic in 3 steps. I know research is very emphasized here at UCI. We are a research-based university. Research does come with very fruitful experiences and it does advance your knowledge in a lot of ways, but I know getting started can be difficult for some people. So we're going to give you 3 steps on how to start just with the research topic. I know there's a lot of processes of research. We're just going to focus on research topic today. If anyone has any questions while we're presenting or anything like that, any comments, you can put that in the Q&A or the chat function and we'll answer any questions that you have at the end of the presentation. So I guess we'll get started with the first step. Okay, so step 1 is identifying your interest, brainstorming ideas, fields, questions you have. I think research starts with what you're passionate about. What are you curious about? What are your current interests? If you do something that you already are interested in, then it will make the research process a lot easier for you. So any topics from a particular class? What are you curious about human behavior in the mind? For example, I am a psychology major. So if I do something with mental health, that'll probably be my topic. Remember, research is about solving problems and answering questions that you already have. So kind of starting with that and then going with starting with your problem will allow you to kind of figure out what you want to do after. Do you want to do interviews? Do you want to do observations? Do you want to do surveys? It kind of starts with tracking your interest. And an action idea that we have is keeping a spreadsheet or document about what you're already interested in, and that'll kind of help you organize what you want to do in the future. So yeah, kind of just figuring out what is something that you're already interested in, whether that's based on your major and just outside interests that you do have. Now we'll move on to step 2. So step 2 is reading articles. A lot of part of research is looking at past research. So it's important to kind of do background on what's already been found on your topic. Articles, journals, news, make sure they are credible. A really good source for that is the library database. People that don't know about that, we'll kind of talk more about that towards the end. But the library databases actually are already organized by subjects and they allow you to kind of search what you're already interested in and kind of see what's already been found on your topic. Researching past articles can inform your topic because you can see, are there any gaps in what you're talking about? Are there any, what did we already know? And I can kind of help you filter what exactly it is that you want to talk about. I would say start broad with your topic, and then as the research process goes, you go through it, then you would get more specific as you go through it. Identifying faculty that are already studying the topic. A good research for that is our faculty directory or faculty database that we have. It actually also allows you to search what topics that you're already interested in, and then it'll bring up faculty that have experience in that, and it'll also give you contact information so you can start sending those emails and kind of getting to know those professors who may be advising you in the future. And then one more thing that I would say is specific keywords related to your research when you are kind of searching for that on different databases. For example, let's say your research topic is first generation college students and their persistence in higher education. You wouldn't type all of that into a search bar. You would kind of break it down like, oh, first generation college students and persistence, and just kind of see what comes up on those topics. So I definitely recommend using these research resources that we have here listed, and then also just kind of using your researches to your best advantage. At UCI, we're getting all these databases for free, so definitely take advantage of that.
All right, so now we have our third and final step, seeking mentorship. And so, throughout your research process, whether you are interested in doing independent study or joining a faculty's already existing research lab, you're going to have some interaction with faculty. And so, we've broken it down into three different sections: meeting with faculty and what that entails, approaching faculty, and if you were interested in receiving academic credit for research. So when it comes to meeting with faculty, the purpose is for you to essentially gather as much resources and information from them as possible. So faculty is always going to be welcoming and super encouraging to help out. And so they have a lot of advice to offer, especially as they have a lot of research experience. And of course, when it comes to discovering your actual research topic that you want to study, again, as Kayla kind of mentioned, it can be a little bit, you might want to start off with a more broad topic and from there kind of narrow it down. But of course, as you're exploring different topics, you may not know which ones that you are specifically interested in. And so that's where faculty come in. You can actually just ask them questions about their experiences to learn any new information that you may have not already found out and that they've experienced firsthand. And of course, having them potentially oversee your own research. Um, especially if you are interested in doing an independent study. And then when it comes to approaching faculty, so you can do it numerous ways, whether it's through the virtual events. So if they are already a professor that you have for, let's say, this quarter, you have them for a class, then of course you have all that information with what their office hours are. And so we would highly recommend just attending those and kind of using that time and space to learn a little bit more about their research if they are offering any, and of course, if they aren't offering any, um, asking them if they know about any other opportunities. Again, setting up one on one meetings, and you can even just, if you aren't comfortable with any of those, you could even just send them a little email. Basically, the generic email have a should remain the same for each email that you send out, except you want to personalize it a little bit. It's kind of similar to cover letters, how you want to tailor each cover letter to each certain job. So you want to do the same thing for here. Some people like to keep it just short and sweet with just a little inquiry about if they have any research opportunities, but you can also choose to do it a little bit more lengthy. And we'll go over I'll show you some of the websites and resources, and one of them has a generic email template that you can follow and use as a guide when contacting faculty. And then last but not least, if you are interested in receiving academic credit for your research, there are several honors programs or even independent studies that you can take at UCI. And so it differs per school. Um, and we can go ahead and show you in just a minute the ones specifically for school social sciences. And then, of course, at the bottom here, utilizing your resources. So just really taking advantage of meeting faculty if you can after class. Um, I would highly recommend that a bit more over email just because, you're right there in front of their face and like they're forced to just interact with you versus email. It can take a little bit of a while for them to respond back, especially if a lot of other students are asking them or spamming them with emails too. And then so let me go ahead and share you if I can somehow exit out of this. So this is just the end slide, but after this, I'll go ahead and just show and continue screen sharing all the little websites. But so for SARC, we have a lot of helpful resources on our website itself with the link over here. And let me go ahead and exit out of this presentation if I can and show you just a little bit of what it looks like if you've never navigated it before. So we have a lot of helpful resources, and I'll send this in the chat as well. So if you look at the top here, if you just click resources and finding research opportunities, this is the tab that you're going to be looking for. specifically for research topics, but of course we offer a lot of other resources um, for consultations, internships, scholarships, and whatnot. But for today's focus, we'll just be navigating and looking through the resource tab or the research tab. And so here we have a really helpful guide that you can follow. Essentially, it's kind of similar to what this presentation is, but it's a little bit more in depth. And so it's really helpful if you're interested in learning what academic research itself is. And then again, defining your research interests and asking yourself the necessary questions in order to kind of get you thinking in the right mindset. And then learning more about your subject. And so here, UCI Faculty Profile Systems is a really helpful site for you to utilize when it comes to contacting UCI faculty for any research opportunities. I'll go ahead and send that in the chat as well. So here you can even just search up any interests or even the keywords that you've highlighted from researching about potential topics. And then from there, seeing which faculty have already existing research labs and potentially contacting them to join them. So let's say you were interested in researching ethics. I'm not sure if there's actually a research topic about ethics, but let's see. Okay, so let's say you were just interested in race. So this would be one of the faculty that you can potentially contact. And here they have all of their important information. Again, the email address that you want to message them on and any other helpful information about them. And so it's a really cool and handy website that I would strongly recommend using, especially if you just are exploring a topic that you don't know where to start, you don't know who to contact. This is definitely a good place to be. And then meeting with the professor, again, emailing. So you want to make sure that you keep it polite, professional, but also personalize it a little bit. So this is one of the email templates that they provided on our website. There's also a really helpful resource from Europe, which is the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program. Even just on their homepage, I'll also share this as well. If you just scroll down, there's already so much helpful resources that I always recommend. Again, how to get involved in research worksheets, sample faculty email. And so this is a little bit more in depth if you're interested in contacting anybody. Again, I just kind of think of it as almost like a cover letter, but just for research. And so, of course, there's so many other helpful resources on here too. If you're interested in joining like the Honors Collegium, it's over here as well. But ultimately, those are just all the resources that should be most helpful for you. And so that concludes our pretty brief presentation. But again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. If you were interested in scheduling a peer consultation with us, essentially you can pick a time and who you want to meet, whether it's for graduate school or more research topics, even internship or cover letters. Feel free to email us or even schedule an appointment over Zoom on our website. And of course, don't forget to connect with us on our social media on Facebook and Instagram at UC Irvine SARC. And our physical location will be closed for this quarter, but everything will be held remotely. And I see that there is a question in the chat. How can I start research if I wanted to explore a topic outside the realm of social science? Kayla, Carissa, did you have an answer?
Yeah. Kayla, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go ahead and answer this one?
You can go first, Carissa.
All right, awesome. Well, very good question. Honestly, it's kind of the same similar experience as you would for any particular topic. It's just you're going to be most likely looking for faculty outside of the School of Social Sciences. And you can easily do this by going to that particular school's website and looking up their faculty profiles on their actual website itself. And so perhaps maybe Kayla or Sammy, if you can show what it's like to go to, let's say, the social sciences faculty pages or a certain department, maybe like econ, for example. Say that you're a sociology major, but have econ interest for some reason, or you're a sociology major, but hope to go into the medical profession. And perhaps you're really interested in, something else, neurology or something. Then you would go to the School of Biological Sciences and look up their faculty. So that's essentially what you would do. But keep in mind that if you are interested in any honors programs, most of those honors programs require that you have a faculty within that particular school. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you so much. If you guys have any other questions as well, feel free to leave it in the chat. Or if you can't think of any and a question just pops up, again, you're more than welcome to email us at sark@uci.edu. Or if you have some more like in-depth questions that are more specific to your circumstances, and you just prefer to kind of, schedule a consultation, again, that's also an option as well. All right. I'll go ahead and wait should we wait a few more minutes for questions?
Yeah, we can give it a few more minutes. Just let the people think for a second.
Mhm.
One thing that I can talk about while people are thinking is I'd recommend getting into a research lab, maybe under an advisor that you're interested in. Even if you don't have to conduct your own research project, you can get kind of an insight into different aspects of research. For example, I'm in a lab right now where I'm helping out people conduct their research projects. So I'm kind of helping with recruiting people and planning and stuff like that. So I'd say even if you don't want to commit to your own project, you can kind of get experience by helping out others just to kind of get an insight when you do it by yourself in the future.
I have a follow-up question to you, Kayla. How did you find that opportunity?
Actually, I found it through a newsletter, actually. Look at your newsletters, everybody. Look at your emails. It was like calling for research, like people to get involved in research. And I was like, I'm interested in the topics that they were talking about. And I also want to mention that on the faculty website, for the faculty that do have labs, it does say that. So that's another way to find different labs too. But yeah, read your emails. Read the SARC email.
Mhm. All right, so I think we can go ahead, end it early. If there are any other questions. But again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on a Friday afternoon in the middle of midterms. Really appreciate it. We hope that from this presentation, you walk away learning something new. Would you like anything else to add, Kayla?
I think that's it. Good luck on your future research endeavors. Thank you, everybody, for coming.